My name is Dayyaan Galiem. I was born in Cape Town and I went to a school called Rondebosch Boys High School. I've always had talent, so my dad, really pushed me along when I was young. He really threw balls at me. He fed me on the bowling machine, and obviously when you're young and you sort of make teams, back then it used to be under 11 province, under 13, under 15, under 17, and under 19. So when I was 11, I already made the Western Province team, and then I made under 13 province team. I scored a few hundreds for probably I think the province under 13 team as well as Rondebosch under 13s. Then when I was 14, I played for, well, then I moved obviously to high school, played under 15 week, also scored 100 there. And then when I was 15, I got an opportunity to play in under 19 three-day game for Western Province, and I actually scored runs there, scored 100, and then I basically got pushed from there to, I made the Coke Week team when I was 15, and then SN 19 when I was 16. So it was from a very young age that I really believed that I could make it. I did play some other sports. I played a bit of rugby, played some squash, played soccer when I was very young. But my two probably main sports in high school was, in the beginning, was cricket and rugby, and then everyone was like, "You're gonna get injured. You're gonna get injured." So then I sort of just took a backseat from rugby. Sorted out my knees when I was 16 or 17, around there. I think it's a good thing to do, but also trying to find space to do something else, because I wish I'd played more rugby, but I understand the injury risk for it, and obviously I'm playing for the Titans today, so obviously it was a good thing, but I do miss it. Squash sort of replaced that, but it's always nice to have a secondary sport where I was still focusing on my cricket, and in between I was playing squash. So it was always like secondary, but still needed to pass and get all the grades to obviously get into university and everything, which I did. Right at the matric final exams, that's when I woke up a little bit just to make sure that there was some sort of marks put together. Well, they obviously help set up your life after school as well as while we're here as well, because life happens. As you grow up, there's lots of things that happen to people, tragedy, certain things, and they have a lot of access to things outside of that where they can guide you in that sense. Like for an example, there's studies that they provide for you. They'll cover your study and gym while you're training, while you're playing as well. So that obviously helps a lot. And then also just like certain traumatizing things, like they help you with a psychologist as well, and not just that. I mean, there's more benefits that I don't even know about, to be honest, that I've supposed could have tapped into that I haven't yet. In terms of injuries, lot, I was saying to the guys, I don't have to study to be a physio. I pretty much know all my muscles in my body already. But when I was 17 already, I was meant to go to the World Cup that under 19s won. There was a World Cup, I think in 26, no, 2014 that they won, and I was actually selected. And then I sort of injured myself just like as we were meant to leave. There was once where it was bad enough where it was into my oblique and into the bottom there as well. So, and then I had a hernia, and then I also had a giant cell tumor over here as well 1 year. So it's been rough. And then everything sort of just made me more motivated at that point. I think that's the good thing my dad instilled in me, was always positivity. I've said this before to a lot of people, where nothing sort of gets you down. And every time I was down, he would tell me to pick it up, because there's the next game coming, or I really need to work, because I'm hard on myself. I think a lot of sportsmen are. So there wasn't really I mean, there was a little bit of a setback, obviously, within terms of the injury, but after that, I was back on my feet. I still had a whole life ahead of me. I think the toughest ones have been more when I've been playing for the Titans, because there was a year where I was Titans T20 Player of the Year, um, and I did really well. And my somehow I had a little a cell tumor, so it wasn't cancerous or anything, but it was, I couldn't run anymore. So they had to remove it and do a whole lot of bit of work that took quite a while. I was out for the rest of the season and more. And even going into the following season, I sort of had a slow start because it was took so long just to get everything going. And then once I did get it going, I sort of started playing well. And once I started playing well, I tore my abdominal again. So it was always when I sort of got to my peak where something would happen, unlike just randomly. And that's sort of been the main disappointment in my time, because I feel like if I've just had some momentum on my side, I never know where, or you never know where you can go. Well, it's important to have the right support. So my girlfriend now, her and her family has also been a great support outside of cricket as well. So I think it's important for that. And secondly, it's just day by day. I think that's what I've been trying to do, is like, honestly, that's how I think. I just want to be able to get back, play the game, and when I get back, I just want to prove people that I'm still here, that I'm still as good as I think I am, and I'm still as I want to be at the top level. So I keep fighting to try and get to that, to that level. So, and I really want to prove people that, listen, I'm good enough. I know it's not a case of that, but eventually you feel like you start letting people down. So you just want to come back and just want to show them that you're there. Well, Saka MVP is basically just a collective of runs, wickets, and I think catches as well. So it's basically like an all-round sort of thing. If obviously if you get a lot of runs, you get certain amount of points allocated to you. So I'm very happy to have done this. Is the first time in my career that's been a thing, or that I've been able to get it. And it just shows that I've actually put in quite a bit of work in the off season to adjust a few things in my bowling technique as well as my batting. But again, it's the first tournament of the season, and I would like to continue on that form. I think mentally I was in a good space, and that comes from not just out in the middle. That really comes from outside of cricket as well. So again, I'll give a lot of credit to my girlfriend and her family as well. They've been really understand. They've been there for me when I've needed them. And I think with that, I had a guy like Richard Neves, for an example. He came to me, not came to me, I mean, we've been working together for a while, but we identified somewhere where I needed to work on with my batting, for an example, and we really sort of honed in on that. And then Mandla, for an example, our head coach, for the bowling, there was just I was at a fast bowling camp. Him and Pete Buerta sort of just had a look at my action and sort of just tweaked one or two things, and it sort of seems like it's coming out pretty nicely at the moment. So yeah, but besides that, I think mentally I've been a bit more sober in my thoughts when I'm out there in the middle. I wouldn't say it's a moment that made the whole tournament for me, but I would say that, you know, 3 for 7 against Burland in 3 or 4 overs or whatever it was, 3 overs, because that's what we could play. That's something that doesn't happen very often, where you go for so little runs and you take wickets as well. And then also the 50 I got against Warriors, I think it was a must-win game for us to get into the top two. And yeah, it was nice to bat with my roommate when we got on tours. So yeah, it was nice being out there in the middle. Our goals for the rest of the season is to play the two win games for the Titans. I've always said that, and to stay on the park as much as I can to really make a difference and sort of just putting in big performances again. And there's no certain number to it or whatever, but I know that if I just do things right, I can really reach, like a lot of wickets or a lot of runs or just new levels in terms of what I thought I can achieve. So that's just one of my goals. And short-term goals is just to be fit for the rest of the season, going to SA20, try and make an impression in SA20 as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that challenge. Last year I had a bit of a taste of it, but now I really want to try and do well as well.